Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. Thank you so much for having me here today. It is indeed my genuine pleasure to be here at this most important women's forum. So I'm Leesha Delatie-Budair, and my very able MC just introduced me. I'm currently acting as the Director General of STATIN, which is Jamaica's National Statistics Office. The theme of my talk today is the Jamaican woman more than a number. And it resonates very deeply with me because it perfectly encapsulates what I want to discuss, recognizing the multifaceted contributions of Jamaican women and looking beyond the headline indicators to truly understand our lived experiences. So let me start by painting a picture of where we stand. Jamaica boasts a vibrant and diverse population, and women comprise approximately half of that. As of 2019, there were approximately 102 women for every 100 men. Not 2 women for every 1 man, as Jamaican men like to say. No, our diversity as women is reflected in the generations that we span. Currently, and I know for some of us in the room, we're going to be a little bit anxious about this next one, but millennials and Gen Z each represent about a quarter of the female population at this point, which means that together, Gen Z and millennials account for about 50% of Jamaican women. Quite fascinating. It means that we have to adjust our approach for us, because I'm a millennial. So now let's look at the evolving landscape of family life. So as Jamaican women, we are daughters, we are sisters, we're mothers, we're spouses, we're strong and we're independent, but yet we're nurturing and we're caring. The 2021 Reproductive Health Survey revealed that most Jamaican of prime reproductive age, that's 15 to 49, are in some form of a union. So there are about 35% of Jamaican women that are either married or in a common law relationship, and about 30% are in a visiting relationship, as in they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Because we're very diverse, right? DEI is still allowed in Jamaica, correct? All right. Interestingly, we have seen, though, a very steady decline in fertility rates since 1973. So in 1973, there was this very, very effective marketing campaign. Extremely effective. So in 1973, the fertility rate was 4.5. In 2021, when we did the RHS, it was 1.9, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that we're currently below replacement rates. And just to ensure we're all on the same page, replacement rate is 2.1, which means that on average, a woman should have 2.1 children. The average woman should have 2.1 children in order to replace herself and her partner to make sure that our population remains stable and doesn't change. That is the replacement rates. It's not saying each and every one of us is going to have 2.1 children. Because what we've been seeing over time is that not only are women having children later, they're having less children, and some none at all. And what this means is that we are having a different set of challenges as a population. We have an aging population. Because what we're seeing is that women are experiencing more increased fertility issues, right? And also, there is a greater participation in the labor market. Now, it brings us to the crucial area of education. And here is where we see some very encouraging trends. The October 2024 Labor Force Survey highlighted that in the Jamaican workforce, women are more educated than their male counterparts. Not surprising, right? Not surprising. Notably, what we're seeing as of October 2024 is that 21.9% of women in the labor force hold tertiary degrees, compared to just 10.9% of men. And in absolute terms, the number of women in the labor force with tertiary level education, 148,500, significantly outnumbers the number of men with tertiary level education, just 85,800. This educational advancement is offered by some as a possible reason for our declining fertility rates, because women are now pursuing higher education and more fulfilling careers. But here's the paradox that we have. So despite all of the educational successes that we still see some significant labor market challenges. The same October 2024 data revealed that there is a lower female labor market participation rate. So the participation rate of women in the labor force was 61.9% compared to men at 74.5%. We also experience a higher rate of unemployment, 4.5% for women versus 2.6% for men. The question is why? Factors such as childcare responsibilities and the disproportionate burden of unpaid care work play a major factor. As women, we carry a tremendous mental load, juggling our careers while managing the countless needs of our families. We're bosses by days, amazing employees, but we still have to tend to all of those people who rely on us. I'm certain there are many women in this room today that can relate to that, right? There are also several other factors that impact our ability to effectively participate in the labor market. So in the same October 2024 labor force survey, we see where there's a sex disparity in the employment to population ratio, and that it was most notable among older women. So what we're seeing is that among the 55 plus, the employment to population ratio, that's the number of women who are employed versus those who are 15 years or older, was 42.9% for females compared to 66.6% for males. We also see a notable gender disparity in households where there's a minor child, as in a child less than 6 years old. For women, the employment to population ratio for women who lived in a household with a minor child was 58.9% compared to men at 75.3%. So we're not just saying that women have more responsibility for care work. The data supports those assertions. Additionally, when we talk about the persons who are outside the labor force, as in they're not employed and they're not unemployed, that is, they are not available or seeking work, what we see is that 3 out of every 5 persons outside 15 years and older who are outside the labor force were women. And when asked, what is it that you are doing with your time during the reference week, we see where the majority of women respond, 38.7% of them, that they were engaged in household responsibilities. Another 28.3% of them were in school, and 13.4% of them were retired. Now, health is another critical area where we see some disparities. However, what we realize is that the leading cause of death among women are lifestyle diseases, diabetes, hypertension, cerebrovascular diseases, ischemic heart diseases. In 2021 alone, diabetes claimed 1,927 lives, and cerebrovascular diseases accounted for 1,253 deaths. There's also the issue of safety. You cannot live in Jamaica and safety is not somewhere at the back of your mind at all times, right? And in 2019, we did a national crime and victimization survey, and what it revealed was that 8.2% of women reported that they had been victims of a crime, of at least one crime, at some point in their lives. And, sorry, in the last 12 months, not at some point in their lives. 8.2% in the last 12 months of that survey, preceding that survey, said that they had been a victim of at least one crime. Now, this was very similar for men at 8.5%, but what we saw was that women were more likely to be victims of certain types of crimes. So crimes, for example, assault, with a higher incidence of women being assaulted. Additionally, too, when we asked women about their perceptions of safety, what we saw was that 10% of women over the age of 18, only 10% of them said that they felt unsafe walking alone during the day. But when you asked them about whether they felt safe walking alone in their community at night, that increased to about a third of women. We don't feel safe in our communities. We also see where women have changed how they act because of safety concerns, including changing the practice of carrying significant amounts of cash and also no longer allowing their children to go out alone. So in closing, these statistics, they offer just a glimpse, but they don't tell the full story. The reality of the Jamaican woman is quite nuanced. So we have to delve deeper beyond the numbers to understand the lived experience of Jamaican women. We see that there is a persistent gap between our educational attainment. We're better educated, but we're not as employed. What we're also seeing is that women are disproportionately engaged in care work. We also see where we're underrepresented in certain leadership positions. And it is crucial that we take the time to understand these disparities, but also to celebrate the many achievements of the Jamaican women. We are the backbone of our families and our communities. We're entrepreneurs, innovators, caregivers, and leaders in our own right. So we are more than just a number. We are women. We are the heart and soul of our country. We are the ones who keep Jamaica going. And it is important that we appreciate and understand that. And in closing, before I come down, because I see the signal that my time is up, it would be remiss of me as leading STATIN to not do a shameless plug, right? Data is important, but it is also important that you participate in the surveys because the data we report is only as good as what you give. So in closing, I want to leave you with that you should use the data to make your decisions, but also participate in our surveys. Thank you.